Every day, Officer Kenji Inaba answers the call. But not all life or death decisions are made on the streets.
How are you?
For 100 hours a week, Officer Inaba leads a double life as Dr. Inaba, one of the nation's top trauma surgeons.
I don't know whether to call you doctor or officer. Is that a common problem?
It is, but anything goes. Kenji's fine, sir.
4 years ago, Kenji never imagined he'd be called to duty outside the OR. As vice chair of surgery at Los Angeles' LAC-USC Medical Center, he was already teaching residents, training military doctors, and saving lives.
You see the price of violence firsthand on a regular basis, don't you?
You take care of gunshot wounds, knife wounds. There is a lot of violence out there.
His was a rare view of LA, and one he happened to share with then LAPD Chief Charlie Beck, who convinced Kenji to join the force as a reserve officer.
He is a miracle worker.
2 years later, he's now chief surgeon of the LAPD, the medical guardian for 10,000 officers.
He's helped cops that have been shot. He's helped me with families that have suffered traumatic loss, including death.
When people see you in the uniform, they see a weapon, they think of taking lives, but your main job is to save lives.
Absolutely.
In both roles.
The uniform is different from scrubs. You're carrying a weapon, but your primary role is to help others.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.